Hello YouTube community, my name is TheJackRabbit13 and today is an update video for the month of March. So, when this video comes out, it will be right before I start uploading videos again. However, to explain a little bit about what happened before this week prior, which I guess was the week from the 18th until... Hold up. I'll get this right for you guys. I should have had this beforehand, but I don't feel like recording over and over again. So it's from the 20th until the 26th. So that entire week I didn't have any videos going up. But the reason for that was that I wanted to have a bit of a stockpile, and in order to continue doing the upload thing that I wanted to do for April, in which I would have the usual schedule where we have Persona followed by Longest Journey, followed by Persona, and so on and so forth. But having on those days, the same day, also having Pokemon trading card game and the visual novel. And if I end up running out of the visual novel, like when that game ends, I guess I have, I think, 2 more, and then I'm probably going to switch up the genre of games, so it's not going to always be visual novel, just to keep things a little bit more fresh. But I will be finishing those games within this year sometime, obviously. So, first things first, let's talk about the month. That's pretty much what these updates are for. I ended up having to drop a class because my laziness, both obviously you can tell with the channel, but it happens in school a lot too. For whatever reason, procrastination just seems to kill me, and I never get stuff turned in on time, and eventually that catches up to me, as it did with this English class that I had to drop. But everything else is doing alright, so personal life is fine. That's pretty much all that I wanted to talk about on that end. But for the channel, I haven't been able to play Persona or The Longest Journey a whole lot recently. And I want to do that right after this recording. Also, you might notice that my room is completely dark. It is nighttime, but this was apparently the best lighting that I could get. Having that light back there had a sort of glare thing that I didn't really like. Having this light on here also had a slight glare. So this was sort of the best way that you could see my face and not be distracted by everything else for whatever reason. But I like this a lot. If I were to do horror games rather, which is something that I'm planning on doing eventually, this would be a nice little lighting to have. So I'll have to remember that right before the sun goes completely down is a good time to, have face cam type videos. I also did one of those with the pack opening. The face cam was really small. For whatever reason, there's like 3 settings, super tiny, where I had it, and then normal size. But the normal size, for whatever reason, seemed to always block things in other games, so I didn't change it. I probably should have changed it for that video, but oh well. Things that you live and you learn. So this episode was going to be pretty short in terms of updating, so I figured, hey, let's talk about some other things. So the Pokemon trading card game, right, which I'm doing the online version of for recording stuff. Well, I also have some trading cards here that I ended up getting. I also have some Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and I figured I would do an unboxing of the Yu-Gi-Oh cards. However, the Pokemon cards... instead, I'm just going to show you what I got. So I got, okay, that's slightly better. Okay, so we got the Galvantula, I believe it is, from the Bolt Twister pack. Maybe that can just buff out. Just buff out. There we go, it buffed out. Okay, so I got that because the regular packs were worth less than what I could sell them back for. And that's all that I'm really doing it for. I'm getting the online codes so that I can play and then sell them back for a gain in money. However, I was able to do that with these Yu-Gi-Oh cards here, because each Yu-Gi-Oh card generally runs a little bit more than the Pokemon cards, even the basic ones. So what I saw with a lot of the basic ones was that I think the average price that I saw at the lowest level was 45 cents. So hopefully we can check this. And in my next episode of probably Persona, I'll tell you guys what I actually got for all the cards here, but you can at least see me open them in this episode here. I am going to try and keep all of this short too, so more than likely I'll end up cutting until I've opened one of the packs, or right before I've opened a pack. So see you then. Okay, so the packs that I ended up getting were the Duelist packs for Rivals of the Pharaoh. It looks sort of like this. Pretty standard kind of stuff, you know. It's not really super out of the ordinary. And because I got 2 packs for the same price as I would get with 1 pack, I figured this would be the better deal to make more money off of, should the prices be what I saw them to be. So, cards that we got: Exchange of the Spirit, which is a trap card. Looks like this. I'm eventually going to have it like buff out or whatever, hopefully. Then we got Red Gadget, which looks like this. It's a more defensive card than you know, what have you. Then we got Spirit Message L. Looks like this. We got Magnetic Force that has sort of like a holographicness to it, as you can see by the rainbow stuff to it. I don't know if that's just the normal card or if that's something that actually happens every now and again. We got the Dark Magician of Chaos. Looks like this. Boom. And that is everything for this pack. So it was a 5-card pack, which normally you get 9 cards. However, I felt more like going with the 2 5-packs to get more cards for the same price. Just barely more cards, but enough to, in my opinion, make it worthwhile. So, we're also going to open up another one, and after this I'm going to have to open up the other pack, which is going to take a little bit longer, so I'll cut to that. But we got right here the Destiny board. It's another trap card, and I hate sort of like... I'll get there one day. Just sort of like do the thing. There you go, close enough. I apologize. I'm really not good with lighting and trying to figure that stuff out. But I will get better eventually one day. Probably not. I hope that I do, but you know. Anyway, so here's Necroface, the next card that I got. Looks sort of like a squid monster thing inside of a baby doll head. We got this Silent Magician level 4. Looks like this. Just like a mage kind of person thingamajig. Got another Red Gadget, which you've already seen. And we got, holy shit, I got myself a Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, which is a very well-liked card. Now, these are all first edition cards, which is typically what you want. So... things are looking pretty up for me, but let's go ahead and open up this next pack here. Okay, so some of you might be wondering why I'm not showing you the other thing, the Pokemon pack that I got. And the reason for that is because I'm going to be using that deck, actually, when I'm doing recording stuff. So you'll be seeing it sometime in April. So I'm probably going to show it all to you like immediately upon opening up the first video. And you'll see the stuff that's there, and then I'm going to use it against NPCs. One, because it's going to give me more footage of like me winning, more than likely. So that's stuff that is generally a lot more, you know, fun to watch. Watching the person actually being good at the game. And so that's a big part of it. Another part of it is I'm going to be doing that stuff anyway, facing off against the NPCs. So it's better to just use that time for footage instead of having it all go to waste. For like off-camera stuff. I tend to try to work around those sort of guidelines of, okay, is this going to be, oh god, there goes my screen. That figures. Okay. Come on, readjust. I hate when this happens, but it happens sometimes. There we go. Okay, it's back to readjusted. So, lost my train of thought. So yeah, that's the train of thought that I sort of like try to stay on. The well, is this going to actually be useful in terms of like my time for recording or just playing the game, or is this something that I'm going to have to just chalk up as wasted time? And most of the time, I would like to actually record, but because a lot of the time things just aren't always like super interesting, I don't do it. But yeah. I think that was pretty much understood. Wanted to make sure that there was still the understanding there, and that you sort of got to look inside my head. But now we're going to be doing more pack openings. We got 2 more to do. Shouldn't be too bad. Alright, so we got this Silent Swordsman level 7 right here. Good shit, right? Good shit. Perfecto. Got another red gadget, which you've seen. We got Spirit Message N. Might have shown this already before. Yeah, looks very familiar. Got an Exchange of the Spirit, and we got a Dragon's Mirror. Which... oh, okay, that's pretty neat. So you can fusion summon 1 dragon monster, fusion monster, from your extra deck by banishing fusion materials listed on from your field or the graveyard. So it's basically one of those cards that you pull out of your extra deck. You pull something out of your extra deck that you wanted to use. Most of the time that would probably be like a Pendulum Summon. And I don't know Pendulum Summon works. I don't know enough about this game. Why am I trying to say that I do? But here, this is what it looks like. Boom. I'm only getting the cards for the money anyway. Silly me. Trying to think that I'm smart, but I'm actually not. Well, it's not that I'm dumb. It's that I'm not informed on that one topic that I'm trying to speak of. Or of which I'm trying to speak, more so. Alright, so we got this Dark Necrofear, which is pretty decent, also a defensive monster. So, boom, you got that. Okay, then we got the Mythical Beast of Serket, which looks like that. Alright, there's a Destiny board, which we've already seen, and a Spirit Message I, as well, is another thing here, which is not very much different from the Spirit Message N, in terms of looks. And then we've got, for the last card, this YZ Tank Dragon, which is a fusion monster. And there you go. Perfect stuff. Coolio. It's a dragon, but it apparently doesn't have dragon listed as one of its, like, things. Interesting. Alright. Well, I got 20 cards out of that deal for $4. So, because that is, let us see, 20 cards, that'd be $5 at the very minimum if all of these cards a piece averaged out to be 25 cents. So I made a net profit off of oh wait, no, because it was $8 total. Okay, so I would need to, with 20 cards for $8, yeah, it would need to be 50 to make a net profit. 50 is like rough average, which honestly I can do, because the low for pretty much any basic card was 45 cents, and if I sell it just a tad over the low, which is generally found on Amazon, or if I start from the low on eBay or whatever, I can get it for a much higher rate, more than likely, than usual. And for that, I'll be able to make more money off of it. So, coolio. I just sort of wanted to share that. That's sort of like a part-time hobby that I'm going to be doing now to make a little bit of side cash. Hopefully, my math has been correct on all of those, and I will be making more money than I'm spending. The problem that seemed to occur, though, is in order to get like the Pokemon cards like my Skyla and so on, I was spending more money than I needed to get those. So I was trying to play like a crane game where you have a chance for $1 of getting a pack, when you could just spend $4 and be guaranteed to get a pack. And in each pack there's guaranteed to be at least one like really good card. So I don't know. I also did that again and spent way more money than I should have. Not really feeling up to explaining how much on camera, because it makes me very embarrassed to think of. But yeah, so I got my water, I got my Halls Breezers, and I got a fruit in case I want to have something to eat in between episodes. And I'm about to do some recording after I finish this and the editing and such. So thank you very much for watching me. My name's the Jacob13, and I am signing out. Catch you all later.